we have to have a dollhouse kit for your dollhouse. And when you open it up, surprise! Hello, my crafty dolls. Welcome to my craft room. I am Grandma Kitty. Thank you so much for joining me. I am working on a little bit of a project in my dollhouse. I'm transforming a room into a craft room because you need a craft room in your dollhouse. And the best thing to have in your craft room is a dollhouse kit for your dollhouse. So I went ahead and designed one. I wanted to go the little extra mile and not just to have the outside box. I wanted an inside box also to store all the materials that it would come with. Now I want to emphasize that this kit, this printable kit, you cannot build a mini dollhouse with this. This is just for show. This is just for, a little scene in your craft room on displayed on a table, and that's it. So please, you cannot build a dollhouse with this. It's just for fun. If you hop on over to Etsy, into my Etsy shop, you'll find this really cute printable, and it comes with 2 pages, and it has the 2 boxes, outside and inside box, and then it has all the materials that you would need to build your house. We have the wallpaper and the flooring, we have the instruction book, we have labels for glue and paint, and then we have a little box for the shingles, and then we have some building materials here. Building materials. And of course, the best part is we have a little do not disturb sign for your door that says crafting, do not disturb. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do this. It's going to be fun. All right, I want to go into some of the materials you're going to need for this project. First, when you print your printable, you really want to use really good quality color paper. I use Hammer Mill 28-pound premium color paper, and that's going to give you the best result. You don't have to use a cardstock for this. That'll give you a really nice bright printing. Large glue stick. We're going to make our paint cans and our tacky glue jar with this. We're going to need some thumbtacks or some sequins, and those are going to be for the tops of our jars. A really good X-Acto knife, nice sharp X-Acto knife. A ruler. Also, kind of strange, a plastic to-go carton. You can use a bakery container. This is from raspberries. Doesn't matter. You're going to need some wood. I have some toothpicks here. This is just stuff you might have laying around the house. I have some toothpicks. That's going to be our building material. You do need to have these little stir sticks and the round tip. That's going to be our shingles. So we're going to cut the tips off, and those are going to be our shingles for our shingles box. And if you want, you can put your building materials, you can cut them out and glue them to some wood. So a popsicle stick or these little pre-made pieces of wood. If you don't have that, you can always use a piece of cardboard from, how about some hot chocolate or a cereal box or whatever you have laying around. Some garbage, basically. So that'll give it some weight. Also, we're going to bind our building materials. You can either use tape or string or some wire. So whatever you have laying around is really good. And also to glue everything together, I'm using an Elmer's craft glue. Now this is just specially made for paper. You find this over in the scrapbook section of your craft store or the glue section. Really good stuff. This is really, it's not going to buckle or bubble your paper. It's going to give you a really good result. All right, we are going to start by cutting the images out. So go ahead and get yourself something to drink. It's going to be a little time consuming, so put on some music, put on a podcast. I'm going to watch a movie, and I'm going to be watching Dirty Dancing, one of my favorite movies. All you're going to do is cut around the image. I'm going to start with the boxes. For the inside box, we are going to cut out the view window, and I give you the option. You don't have to do it. You can leave the label intact, but we want to see everything that's inside the box. So we're going to go ahead and cut that out. All right, now we have a space for our viewing window. And don't forget to cut out the template. All right, now that you have your boxes cut out, we are going to fold the sides and the flaps. So get yourself a really nice metal ruler and line up the sides of the box. I have these really nice black little lines. I'm going to line those up and simply fold the flaps in. I found this really nice paper tool. It was from the scrapbooking section, and I have not been able to find it since. So if anyone knows where to find one, I would love to have another one. I would be lost without this tool. Just line up those flaps. All right, and don't forget to get those little tabs, those little flaps. You want to fold those too. All right, our box is taking shape. And you're going to repeat the same process for the outside box. Make sure you get the sides of the box and the little flaps. All right, continue to do those flaps. Make sure you get the sides of the box. And our box is really taking shape. Now we have our shingles box. And again, I give you the option of cutting out the window. So if you don't want the window, you can leave the front label on. All right, we have our shingles box ready to go. We have our view window cut out. And now you want to go ahead and fold those sides of the box and the flaps. Okay, now we have our shingles box all ready to go. Looks good. Taking shape. All right, next you're going to tape the templates to the plastic container. So this is the template for the inside box window and the shingles box window. Go ahead and tape those. And once those are taped to the plastic container, go ahead and cut those out. These templates are exactly to size, so you might have to trim them down just a hair. We're going to do the same thing to the shingles box window. Again, they might be a little bit too big and need a little bit of trimming, but it's better to be too big than be too small. And there we go. Now we have the windows for the inner box and the shingles box. Okay, the next step is to tape the window to the inside box. And we're going to dab our glue to the inside of the box. We're going to dab our glue around. Next, you're going to place your plastic window to the inside of the box and press and hold. Make sure you clean up any of the excess glue that's seeped out. Clean up the window. We don't want any glue on that window. Looks really good. And we're going to let that dry. All right, we're going to do the same thing to the shingles box. We're going to add some glue around the inside of the box. Go ahead and press and hold your little window to the box. It's nice to have a little tool to kind of squeeze everything and press it down nice and make sure you get all that excess glue off. Looks pretty good. It's very important to let these dry before we continue. So we're going to set those aside and let them dry. Okay, while we wait for our boxes to dry, we're going to work on the outside box. And we're going to start by creasing those seams on the sides of the box and our folds. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much start folding our box inwards and creasing those lines. Get a nice crisp line. All right, continue to go around the box and really press those seams so you get a nice crisp edge. The box is kind of taking shape now. We're going to start at the bottom and make sure everything kind of goes together and lines up. You take that small flap on the bottom and dab some glue on it. A good amount of glue. And you're going to fold and we're going to glue that to the back of the box. and pinch and maneuver and make sure everything is lined up. Wipe off any excess glue. Okay, we're going to continue to gluing the side of the box. We're going to pinch and squeeze. Make sure everything is lined up. Go ahead and press that side closed. Put your finger down the middle and then use your little scraping tool to smooth the glue down and really get out all those bubbles. Double check everything is lined up. Pinch and squeeze before you let everything dry. Looks great. All right, there are two little flaps on the top of the box. There's one on the back of the box that we're going to glue and fold inwards to the inside of the box. And there's one on the side also. And that just gives it a little bit extra support for the box. Go ahead and fold that inwards. Again, this is the flap from the back of the box, and there's a little flap on the side. And remember, we're going to keep the top open. All right, our outside box is complete. We leave the top open and let it dry. All right, let's work on our inner box. And we're going to start by working on the bottom of the box. And we're going to glue the tiny little tabs that are on the bottom. And you're going to glue the little printed side of the tab. You're going to glue all four sides. You're going to bring up the size of the box from the bottom and start assembling your box. Might need a little extra glue. And you're going to line up and pinch. Make sure that glue is held tight. All right, continue to pinch and squeeze those corners of the bottom of the box. It's nice to have some tweezers handy to really smooth out those tiny tabs. Make sure everything is lined up. All right, once the bottom is straight, we're going to let that dry. Okay, now that's dry, we have these little flaps on the sides of the box that we're going to glue and fold in. All right, grab your tweezers and you're going to fold those flaps into the bottom of the box and press. And you're going to do this to both sides. All right, it's very important to let your box dry before moving on. All right, next we're going to glue the bottom of the box. So you take your glue stick and you're going to glue the contents. So we have that image on the bottom of the box that looks like there's something in it. And you're going to fold that over. There is a side that we're going to press to the side of the box. And then go ahead and push that image to the bottom. And we're going to use our little scraper tool to get all those bubbles and wrinkles out. Make sure it's nice and tight. There's also a little flap that goes on the other side of the box. Make sure that's really nice and tight. And there you go. There is our box. We're going to make sure it fits, closes. All right, moving on to the shingles box. We are going to start by gluing this side. And sorry for this weird camera angle here. I am watching a movie. This must have been where, Johnny from Dirty Dancing takes his shirt off. So I kind of forgot where the camera was. So we're going to start by gluing the side of the box. And you are going to line everything up perfectly, press and hold, and we're going to let this dry. So far, so good. Looks cute already. I love it. Now we're just going to glue one end closed. All right, now that one end is closed, we are going to let this dry. Looks so cute. Now we're going to cut a piece of foam core and put it in the bottom of the shingles box. And we're going to cheat a little bit. This is going to make it so we don't have to cut so many shingles. You're going to take your stir sticks and we're just going to cut the tips of them off. And then you're just going to cut the tips of those ends of the wood off. Make sure you don't cut yourself. It's best to cut about halfway down, and then you can simply snap off the tip. And there we go, we have our shingle. All right, we have our shingles, and you're going to need to cut about 12 of them and then pack them up in your box. They're so cute. All right, after you got the shingles packed up, I'm going to glue the end closed. And it's nice to have your little tweezers handy. These flaps are really small and all full of sticky glue. Glue that tight. All right, there is our shingles box. It is so cute. I love it. All right, next we are going to make some building materials for the house. And we're just going to take our scraps from those stir sticks and we're going to cut about 4 little pieces per bundle. You can cut about halfway down and simply snap them off. You can use toothpicks too, for some variety. All right, now we're just going to bundle those together. Here I'm using some wire. You can use string or some tape, whatever you have, and twist those up. Okay, and you're going to need to make about 3 little bundles. And there's our building material. All right, we're going to take our little pieces of paper that is more building material, like the walls and the roof. And to make them more realistic, we're going to glue them onto either popsicle sticks or wood or some cardboard. And go ahead and glue your pieces of paper to the wood or the cardboard. And when you glue it to the cardboard, it is just obviously very easy to cut versus the wood, but it's still going to give you a little bit of detail and not just a piece of paper. Makes it more like a wall or a roof. Now, when cutting out the pieces of paper on the wood, it's a little harder. You just want to use your utility knife and cut about halfway down. And when you cut halfway down, you can simply pick up the popsicle stick and snap it, and that'll give you a nice clean break. Okay, take your wood pieces and give them a little bit of a sand on the edges. Get rid of those rough cuts. And there we go. We have our building material, the roof and the walls. Okay, next we're going to make the bottles for the paint and the glue. Okay, I'm going to start by making the glue bottle. And I'm going to go ahead and glue your label to your glue stick. And don't cut your glue stick beforehand. You really want to have something to hold on to. And I'm going to start by putting the label in the middle and securing it around. Now I am leaving a little bit on the top and on the bottom because I want my glue bottle to be tall. You need a lot of glue for a dollhouse. Just trim off the little excess. And there we go. We have our little glue bottle ready to cut. Make sure that's secure. And then we are going to cut it off the glue stick. Now, remember I left a little bit on the top, so I'm going to repeat that and leave a space on the bottom and give that good cut. And there is our glue bottle. And all we need to do is make a cap for it. And for the cap for our glue bottle, I am just using a really decorative thumbtack. And you're going to find the center of the bottle and stick it in. And there is our glue bottle. Now for the jars of paint, we're going to repeat that process, but I want my jars to be shorter. So we're going to cut the glue the width of the label. Okay, we have our jars done. We have our yellow paint, we have our blue paint, and we have our bottle of glue. And you can see the bottles of paint are a little shorter than the glue. To make the do not disturb sign, you're just going to take a standard size hole punch and punch a hole for the doorknob. Here we have our do not disturb sign. Okay, we are finished. Now it's time to pack up our box. We're going to start with this extra instructions and then our building materials that are on some wood. We have our smaller building materials like the roof, maybe some walls, go on the side. We have our 6 wallpapers, plenty to choose from. Those go on the side. And our 3 floors, kitchen, bath, and hardwood floor. Our 3 bundles of building material. Our box of shingles goes right in the middle. Our do not disturb sign. And our book of instructions. Fold in the tabs and close the box. Looks great with that viewing window, and it fits right into the outside box. All right, all finished. We have a great little dollhouse kit for your dollhouse. We have the glue and we have the paint. All right, let's see how this looks in the dollhouse. All right, my kitty just bought a brand new dollhouse. Of course, she's got to put up her do not disturb sign and start unpacking everything. We have our instructions, the shingles box, all the building material. She's so excited. Just got to look at everything, make sure everything's there. Look at all the floor and all the wallpaper it comes with. More instructions. She's going to have a lot of work to do. And of course, we've got our glue and our yellow paint and our blue paint. She's going to start cutting, measuring, and painting. All right. All right, my crafty dolls, that is it for me today. I hope you had fun with this project. This is going to be a perfect addition to my craft room in the dollhouse. This was a fun one. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Let me know what you thought of it. Leave me some comments down below. And if you don't know what to say, just leave me a yellow heart. Thanks, guys, so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.